I'm gonna start off. You were involved with the Rendlsham Forrest case there, just very briefly, because
overlay of it. My name's Jim Penniston. What do you want me to look at the camera? Or you want me to look at you? I really just look at you. Yeah, my name is Jim Penniston. I was in charge of base security at the twin bases, RAF Woodbridge, RAF Bentwaters, on December 26, 1980. And during that tour of duty, I encountered a craft of unknown origin, and it was the first of 3 nights of encounters, and it's probably the best known 3 events in 1 month case. So that's the overview.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, lots of people have seen your story on television, and I want to ask a few different things that I hadn't seen asked. Now, one thing I found very interesting, you mentioned that you touched the craft and seen etchings on the craft, hieroglyphics, but yet you still don't believe in extraterrestrials. Can you just tell me a little bit about that and as to why?
Well, I think you have to go back to what I was doing that night. All right, the twin bases are the whole Woodbridge and Bentwaters. Bentwaters controls everything on Woodbridge. That's the main base. The headquarters are there, the command centers are there, and so, but they fall in the operational control of that one base. They're geographically separated by 3 miles of Rendlsham Forrest. And we had 5 squadrons of A-10s there on the dual bases. We had top secret type of weapon systems there. We had over 10,000 military personnel living there and civilians. We were the frontline base of the largest tactical fighter wing then and now in the world. And our job was to stop the Warsaw Pact nations if they wanted to be aggressive against the United States and start rolling across Europe with 5,000 tanks. That's what the job of the A-10s were. We also had 5 forward operating locations. They were all classified, located throughout Germany and other places. But they still fall under the operational control of that base. So this is how serious the mission of this base was. So when I got called down to the East Gate, and that was reported by Police 4 and Police 5, Sergeant Steffens and Airman Burroughs, of a possible situation outside the base. I called it as an aircraft downing, and that way that we had to get permission to go off base to find out what it was. I had a 50-60% chance thinking that's what it was. The other percentage is unknown. It didn't really look like an aircraft crash, but there's probably no other explanation. So from that point of time when I got to the wood line, my whole view of what I thought had changed a little bit. The fact is, I had to go ahead, and my job was to report what I seen, do it accurately, don't embellish it, don't put thoughts into it, my personal feelings, and then you take that information, and that information is given to a higher pay grade, and they make a decision on what they want to do. So that's my job. That's all I did. It's my job out there. I mean, my job wasn't to go, it's probably ET, alien. That's all guesswork. I wasn't in the guesswork business. I'm only in the facts. There's nothing that says it's extraterrestrial. That's just you guessing. Was it technology that the United States Air Force had, or the Warsaw Pact had, or Russian? Absolutely not. It was beyond our capability. It does not have evidence that's extraterrestrial. It just means it's unknown.
That's a very fair conclusion.
That is a conclusion. And the last thing I was going to do is go back to report back to the base and say UFO. Let's guess. because with the connotation of ET alien, that's what it means now, don't it?
Yes.
It meant that then too. So I coined the phrase, and I was very strategic about this. What I put in my report, I said, craft of unknown origin. I mean, you go and make of it what you want.
Fair enough. Yeah,
That's fair enough.
Covers your end.
Well, yeah, you don't want me doing guesswork out there, because that's the last thing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's Russian international incident. Who knows? And then, but I'll tell you what, the base personnel in my chain command were supportive. When I got back there, it's an official report. They're listening.
Now, I got to admit, you're very unique in all the individuals here, in that, of course, I will do the one to. I'll be the one to assume it was UFO. You don't have to. You just stick to your thing. But you're one of the very few, if not the only person here that can claim to have actually touched something of unknown origin. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And now you experienced something fairly unique when you did so, according to what I've heard, in that you saw binary code, or
right.
at a later time.
Well, no, there's a part of the process of investigating the craft was, doing a 360 walk around of it, pacing it off, find out how big it was, Oh, the reason it was 9 feet by 9 feet by 9 feet, it's my stride. Every time I make one stride, it's 3 feet. That's how I had to do it. I have a measure device out there. 7 feet high, I'm 6'2", so it's about 6.5, 7 feet high. I mean, this is the stuff you have to do, to record stuff down.
And now, as I understand it, and I might be wrong, it wasn't until years later that somebody actually looked at that binary code and did their best to decipher it.
Well, my mindset on it was pretty simple. At the time, all I had was the brightness, the flash of lights, stuff like that at the incident. Then, when I had went home to go sleep finally, I couldn't sleep. I mean, it was like an hour, and I was up an hour, and another hour, and I started seeing the ones and zeros. And my mindset on it was more that it was actually a situation of insanity, because they say, well, yeah, privacy, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, we're recording. Bye.
It's okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Where was it at?
You were speaking, you had just seen the light, and
You're right.
you couldn't
So
see.
I'm back home, and I got that going on. And so I get out there, make a pot of coffee. I go in the dining room. I start looking at I pick up a notebook, and I'm just going back over the stuff, because let's face it, it was a pretty unbelievable situation for me. And as I was looking through it, I said, well, let me see if I can record some. See if there's a... So I started writing the ones and zeros down. And I continued to the point where I had a pen that kept running out, and I had to get another pen because it felt good. I know that sounds crazy. That's what I thought. That's what I thought at the time. It felt okay. And then I finally get done with 17 pages of, notebooks only, that size. And I got to a point where it just was, I couldn't write, there was nothing else to write. And I went, wow, it's over. Now, I should go to the base hospital with this, but I can't. If I went in and told them I was sitting at my home in Ipswich, England, and I had to get up in the middle of the night and start writing ones and zeros down, what do you think they would have done?
They may have asked you to take a pill or two.
They would have relieved me of duty. They would have started separation from the service, because that's just some kind of insane stuff. But I figured I dodged a bullet because I felt okay then after that. So anyway, just fast forward. Throw the book away, in a bag or in a box somewhere with all my other stuff. I'm a rat pack, I do that. I just don't throw nothing away. And then retire in 1993. Having problems sleeping. it started out I could only get 6 hours sleep, then only 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours a night. And so you know what that would do to you. I mean, you're pretty not good. Okay, you're pretty raw. And so I went to my medical doctor, civilian, and she said, well, maybe we're going to get you a psychiatrist and let them take a look at it because, you know, you got a sleep disorder. I said, okay. So I went there, and after a few initial times with the psychiatrist, she says, well, I want you to do a transgressional hypnosis with me. She says, and I'll tape it for my notes only. You know, I said, okay. She says, and hopefully we find out what's wrong. And I think she was looking at maybe a more natural situation, like maybe you're abused or something when you're a child or some trauma like that. So the first session was a little over 2 hours long. And she did have the ability to make me remember it or not when I come out of it. And it was not to remember because of the trauma. And so when I come out of it, I feel very relaxed. And she's sitting across from me with her mouth all the way down to the floor. And I said, what's the matter? She goes, tell me about R.A.F. Woodbridge. I went, oh, no, I didn't talk about that, did I? She goes, yeah, we got to have another session. And I said, well, we have to have some guidelines here. I says, this lady had nothing, she didn't even believe in that kind of phenomenon. It wasn't like I went to somebody that was, mindset was, you know, keyed into that and looking for that or tried to lead me into that. It was a person that just didn't believe in it.
And now, sorry, back to the binary code.
I'm going to get there.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to get there. I know, it's a long story. So, of course, in that hypnosis, on tape, I mentioned binary code. And then 2 years later, I did a project with Howe, and she put it in some book that she had, and it's, you know, the transcript. It says binary code. I did not know what binary code was. It's 1980s, 1980 at the time, and when I was doing hypnosis was 94, and the book was 96, and I just didn't know what binary code was. Then we're going to do a documentary in 2010, in October, out in Phoenix. And while we're sitting there, of course, John's there, and Howell's there too, and because we're doing a show for another television program. And anyway, during the middle of the shoot, we went on a break, and I'm sitting there, and John said, hey, what was the date of that second drawing you had? I said, oh, let me think. So I'm flipping through there, and I go, what's that? And I'm thinking to myself, that's my insanity. I don't want to talk about my insanity from 1980, right? So I go like this. He says, it's the ones and zeros I wrote down. I said, and they came unglued, everybody. And I said, that's not ones and zeros. That's binary code. I went, binary code? I've heard that before. From the hypnosis. That's binary code. I didn't know it. And that's when they wanted a few pages given to them to test out, which I was 100% sure was gibberish, 100% condensed. And then we had it verified by 3 different people around the world, and they all came up with the same translation. And then when we found out that was the case, I said, well, maybe I better get the rest of them done. And so I had the rest of them to call another binary expert who had like 40 years experience in computers. And then they wasn't supposed to come out. See, we talked to the television show. We don't want it out because we want to do research on it and find out, more. And I was waiting for the other code information to come back too. And they put it out. They told us on the way when we got to England, we were going over there for a shoot, and they actually put it out. So the binary shouldn't be out right now.
Really?
No, we weren't prepared for it because we wanted to do the research on it and also know what the other pages said, So that's where we're at. So we wanted to be responsible with the binary code, unlike other people with information when they obtain it, they just throw it out. What we did is say, well, what's the best way to do it? And we had been talking, well, best way is in print form. Once it's in print, people can do with it what they want. They can dissect it, they can eat it, they can do it, whatever. But it's a historical record. So John and I talked about a book. And then Nick Pope says, I can help you with that. And we went, Nick Pope, NLD contact, best background on it. That's a good lead author. You know?
Indeed.
So that's how that happened. And of course the book will have the binary code in.
Well, then I won't ask you any more about that because we want people to read the book.
Well, it's what I want. I mean, what I really want from the book, I want to have people able to look at it and look at it this way. Look like, let's say you're going to buy the book. And which way you got to look at it is that John and I were working for you as investigators. We went out, we obtained the facts that night, okay? And then we put it in a report. And what we want you to do is take that report and you make the decision of what you think that means. Okay?
It's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, the more heads on it, the better a better way to get the answers.
I totally agree.
Yeah, so it's not, and this is never about any individual. This is not about John, not about me. This is about something like, I feel much bigger, the case, you know. So it's not about no individual.
And what's the title of the book and when is it coming out?
Oh my, that's, we had a working title and they changed, the title that they want is, Encounter in Rendlsham Forrest. And it is due out March of 2014.
That's wonderful.
It'll be on the streets then.
All right, I know you have a busy day, so thank you so
very
much
much.
for your time.
You're all right. Hey, excellent interview.
Thank you.